Disappointment from the whole team. Joy, the honeymoon phase of any relationship, particularly the relationship that we are all witnessing, I believe that it could come to an end sooner than later. Shady and I, we talked about this yesterday. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, the Jets, in their first joint practice with the Carolina Panthers, all of a sudden, they tasted a little blood. Panthers drew a little blood, it seemed like, 2-minute drill at the end of practice, and now you have wide receivers talking about Aaron Rodgers' patience will eventually run thin. The honeymoon phase, I believe that it will only last for maybe a quarter, maybe a half. As soon as they see those Buffalo Bills, week one, as soon as they see, hopefully, Von Miller healthy coming off the edge, Milano at linebacker, Tre'Davious White, Shady's homeboy, another year removed from that ACL, Micah Hyde in the back end, Jordan Poyer in the back end, and if DeMar Hamlin happens to start because Micah Hyde is still recovering, that will be energy. The honeymoon phase, I believe, could come to an abrupt ending in New York with the Jets. So much glitz glamour, but also so much drama. How long do you think the honeymoon phase will last?
Until their first loss. How long does the honeymoon phase last? Until your first fight, right? And then we're like, oh, this is what it is. And we got to do this forever. Hopefully there's more of the honeymoon than this. That's how it works. Their first loss, it's going to be a bombardment of questions from the media. The fans are going to start to pick everything apart. No, it doesn't matter. They're not going to go undefeated. They're going to lose games this year. But that's not the point. The point is this is the team going into this NFL season. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has left the Green Bay Packers in dramatic fashion. The New York Jets, who are desperate to even make the playoffs, add a 4-time MVP. It's New York. We've talked about Aaron Rodgers every day for the past 2 years. This is the moment. So as soon as there's a loss, which is perfectly reasonable, it's okay. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm pretty sure the Jets are going to lose a game this year. It's not going to be the end of the world, but you're talking about honeymoon phase. This is when it starts. When things start to get a little sketchy, and the first loss is when it's sketchy, that's when things are going to start to get testy.
Shady, you've been a part of a lot of incredible teams. You've won 2 Super Bowls, one with the Chiefs, one with the Bucs. But the team that probably got the most hype was a team that fell short. It was a whole dream team, Philadelphia Eagles, Nnamdi Asomugha, yourself, D-Jack, our guy J-Mac, Asante Samuel, all of the names. There was a honeymoon phase, and that one came to an end very quickly. So you know those honeymoon phase ending. But the Jets, when will this one end?
And when I got the question today, I was wondering, how can I answer this? And when you say honeymoon phase, it's like, okay, every team has this. Everybody's excited, a new season. But then I think we have accumulate a lot of losses in a row because I think that every team's going to lose this year, right? I don't think no team's going to go undefeated. So when I was reading, I'm like, how can I, get my take on it and be as honest as possible? And I think with the leadership of Aaron Rodgers, right, with a new team coming together, these practices that you have joint practices with other teams, like, it's going to happen like that. Because first of all, for the viewers out there, you are not scouting the other team, right? So it's like, okay, if you're playing, the Jets are playing the Broncos, the whole week you know what they do on 2-minute drill. You know everything about them. Where when joint practice, you don't really do that. You don't have the time for it. Everybody's not trying to game plan for that team or for that practice. So that's why I wanted to take a halt and really look at what's really going on. They had a bad practice. It happens, right? You got to get better and better and better. I think that when you get to the preseason games, maybe game 3, where you're actually game planning and preparing for that team, then you can really see what the team really has. So I don't know if I can say, like, the honeymoon phase is really over because you got to go through, like, a long period of losses. You talk about that year you talked about with us? Sir. We started 4-1. And then we start losing 2, 3 in a row. Then, it's over. That's when it came to an end.
Why multiple losses? It's very interesting you say it takes multiple losses. Why is one loss not enough in your mind for the honeymoon phase?
Yeah, because everybody's going to lose. Like we watched last year. We watched the Chiefs lose to the Colts, and we knew what type of team they were. Yeah. Right? We watched Dallas get to against the Texans. They got real close. So I think that like a loss doesn't define who the team is. Now, why I say a lot of losses in a row is because how do you answer back, right? How does the coach deliver that message to the team? How can I have my guys still prepared to play this game without getting down on yourself, complaining and pointing fingers? How do we stop that?
See, I would say this is a good thing. It happens now in Spartanburg, South Carolina, in the heat.
What is a good thing?
Some of this adversity where Aaron Rodgers says, we're not playing like a Super Bowl team right now. It's early, but we're not practicing right. These are bad habits. This is why you have that Super Bowl pedigree. I know Joey's only won 1, but you have that championship pedigree, 4 MVPs, one of the greatest quarterbacks all time. This is why you have Aaron Rodgers. It's not just for the great throws that the DC said only one human on earth could make. Acho said maybe a couple more could now. This is in 2014. But this is why you have Aaron Rodgers, because when you start to have things that maybe spiral a little bit, he can catch them early and say, no, I'm 39 years old. I've been in this league 15 years. This is not how we build a championship contender. This needs to stop now before week 1 against Buffalo, where it could really be a problem.
Jordan, call me out. Please call me out, because what I am doing right now might be a little self-fulfilling prophecy. I will continue to hark on the fact that the Jets canceled a mandatory minicamp 1 week, 1 month.
Like that. You didn't like
I didn't like it.
You didn't like
because now, all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers is like, we're having some passing game issues. We'll get to that later in the show. Now, all of a sudden, you're shocked, you're surprised, not really, when the Carolina Panthers draw a little bit of blood. And I'm thinking, Jordan, the Jets do not have the luxury of taking any of this time off. That's why I said yesterday during our show, I believe the Jets were a little too confident. Everybody's supposed to be confident, I understand that. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, the Jets should be preparing for adversity. The Carolina Panthers were not good, and I do not believe that they will be good this year. At most, they will win 9 games. I hope that they do for Bryce Young's sake. So I'm thinking to myself, the honeymoon phase is going to end before the good part even starts. Because week 1, they got the Bills. Then after the Bills, they got the Cowboys. Then the Patriots. Then the Chiefs.
Philly.
Then the Broncos. Then the Eagles. I don't even know how, Joy, a honeymoon phase can really get going with that kind of gauntlet.
Well, that's why I said I think it'll end early. But it's okay. The honeymoon phase is not really supposed to last all year long. You're supposed to face some adversity. You're going to bounce back from losses. You're going to bounce back from injury. So it's fine. The best teams are what? Battle-tested. In fact, teams that have these long honeymoon phases throughout the regular season, we start to pick apart. Oh, well, you know, they care more about being undefeated, or they care more about going to the postseason, or have they really? What did they say about Philly all year last year?
Yeah.
Shady and I were out here fighting for our lives, trying to say it didn't matter, but they didn't really play anybody. Let's start looking at their schedule. So it's almost a good thing to have a team bounce back from a loss, particularly if it's early. So it's not the end of the world if the honeymoon phase ends early. And to your point about them being overconfident, and Jordan's point about what's happening now, it's a good thing. You should feel confident, but you should also know everybody else out there is trying to take you down. And they are also professionals, and they are also talented. And some of them have great defensive players that can impose their will on your really stunning new offense. So this is a good thing to happen now. What I'm interested in is what Shady said, which is when things really start to get a little weird in the middle of the season, how does Aaron Rodgers respond, and how does this team with a lot of talent, but a lot of young talent respond? Because Shady's told the story lots of times about what happened with the Bucks. Started 7-5, went into the bye, and then what happened?
Got rolling, yeah.
But wasn't a big part of that having Tom Brady there?
Yep, leader, yeah.
PFF ranked the Jets last year as the 2nd best defense. Just relax. Aaron Rodgers knows he is a smart football player. He knows he doesn't have to be peak Aaron Rodgers 2014.
Sure.
He has to be a B. Just like we said yesterday, Dak has to be a B. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be perfect for this team to contend. So he's got to be feeling pretty good right now. He's got his old friends. He's got Alan Lazard. He's got Randall Cobb. They have a very good offense.
He's feeling good, but go ahead, Tufai.
No, because I want to know your take on it. Like,
yes, sir.
They can lose games. Any of these teams can lose games. Like, what's the big deal about it? Like, I don't expect the Jets to go out here and just be 7-0 right off the back.
The big deal for me is, again, in watching Hard Knocks, and I probably watch Hard Knocks far too intently, there seemed not an air of arrogance, but, Shady, to me, there's a fine line between cockiness and confidence. To me, confidence is having faith in an ability you can back up. Cockiness is you got faith in an ability you can't back up. I don't know yet that the Jets can back all this talk up because I just haven't seen it yet.
I just feel like all the better teams that I played on, they all had tremendous amount of confidence. It might be a little bit too cocky, or it might have just been super confident, but the best teams I played on that won and went out there and won championships, them dudes was arrogant.
Yep.
I remember playing with the Chiefs, like, man, we down 24. Like, ain't nobody tripping. Everybody's still the same, right? And that's just, I think, having a leader like Patrick Mahomes, right? He's like, hey, we're going to win this no matter what it is. And I think Aaron Rodgers has that in him. And if you pour that into the team, it's like, no matter what they give us, no matter what the adversity is, we still gonna find a way to win games.
Let me ask you this question.
I like that, the confidence.
What is the difference? But because that Dream Team 2011 team, y'all started actually 1-4, finished 8-8. The next year you start 3-1.
4-1.
The next year you start
4-1.
Start 4-1.
Yeah, 4-1.
What is the difference on those teams you were a part of? Because you're a part of a team that was super confident and cocky.
Yeah.
But then you don't finish very well. But then you're part of a team that wins the Super Bowl that's very confident and cocky.
Yeah, so both for confidence with a lot of talent. Probably is more talent than on the losing team. The difference was turnovers, right? You can't win games with turnovers. At that time, Mike Vick was turning the ball over, right? As a team, I won't even say Mike. As a team, we turned the ball over, and you can't win like that. There'll be times where we'll be having 3-4 turnovers, and we still be in the game because we were so talented. That was the difference. It wasn't the confidence, it wasn't the cocky part. It was the turnovers. If we didn't have that part, we might have been.
Do you think that did any arrogance in your mind, like, could arrogance be a downfall in my mind? Like, could arrogance have led to some of that?
I don't know. I think you need arrogance. I mean, we think different about stuff like that, but I think you need confidence. I don't like the player that's, I'm going to have a good day today. Hopefully it works out. Nah, I want the player, I'm going out there to have a great game. Deion Sanders one time told me this. We were talking about, like, great players. He said, and great cornerbacks, and we talking about Revis. I'm a big guy, and Revis is a big guy. He said, the thing about Revis that makes him different than other corners like himself, he said there's old shit, cornerbacks, and there's hell yeah. Some cornerbacks, the ball's in the air, he's like, right? And there's some cornerbacks like, hell yeah. And that's the player that you need on your team.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is that version of quarterback. Aaron Rodgers wants 3rd and 17, game on the line. Let me make that game-winning throw. I mean, I'm losing my papers here. I think the Jets have everything, and it's because of AR. That dude is he him?
I think he's him.
Everyone's
whoa, we can't say he's him because he took a step back. He's still a really, really good player. I gotta keep it honest.
His career, he's been him.
Yes.
Number 12.
His career,
He's been
All
him.
I know is everybody who wants to know about me, please ask Jordan Schultz so he can bring that energy.
I think I just scared
Joy Taylor.
Joy thinks he's nuts.
Joy is her.
Oh, Joy is her. Yeah.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.